Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it seems like a Romanian volunteer who fought in Ukraine was eventually eliminated by the Russians. And I have a few details. I have his name, I have some of his, how should I put it, history or military history. And it's very interesting. I have a few points to make, obviously. So, let's go and see this little article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. And it says that Romanian volunteer soldier dies in Ukraine. This is from Wednesday, the 25th of October, 2023. Now, this is the guy right here with the Ukrainian flag over there. Facebook page of his name is Whitman. Now, Whitman is not a Romanian name, especially with double T. I can tell you that 100%, and with W. You will not find Romanian names with W unless they are Hungarian or Germans or something else. So that's the first one. And then we find out that his first name is Rudolf. So another non-Romanian name. Let's put this traditional. I mean, it's like, let's say I would go to Zimbabwe and let's say I marry a Romanian and I go to Zimbabwe. I go over there, we have some children, and our children will be, I don't know, I will name them Emil Kosman. Do you think those children will be Zimbabwean? I mean, they will look like me, and they will have a Romanian name. Okay, let's put it this way if you want, Romanian name. Obviously, you're going to say, well, yeah, you are Zimbabwean, yes, by birth here, but that's a long way. That's the first thing. Nothing wrong with that, my friends. I'm just pointing out facts. Right? I'm not ascribing or assigning any judgment on this. I'm just pointing out Rudolf Whitman is not a Romanian name. He is German right here, or something else having this like Kosman at the end. But anyway, it says a volunteer from Romania who fought as part of the International Legion has been killed on the front line in Ukraine. Reported by Digi24 or Digi24 media outlet and other Romanian media sources as reported by European Pravda. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania confirmed that the Ukrainian authorities had informed it about the death of a Romanian citizen. Correct, that's good, that he reported. All right, so Rudolf Whitman, or Rudolf Wittmann, a 27-year-old Romanian, was born and raised in the city of Arad. He was interested in warfare and has spent about 5 years in the French International Legion, so that is the French Foreign Legion, I'm guessing, after the beginning of the Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. He decided to go fight on Ukraine's side. So, when you go to fight in the French Legion, Foreign Legion, you go, why? Because you have a certain kind of affinity for France, or because, I don't want to, again, ascribe a certain kind of judgment on individuals who go over there. I'm pretty familiar with French Foreign Legion, let's put it this way. And I know what kind of people go, good people, bad people, like everywhere else. I mean, you read between the lines what I'm saying. Anyway, you go over there and fight, and as a mercenary, and how they don't call it mercenary. Foreign Legion is not a mercenary group, but nevertheless, and then you go and somehow you become so much involved in loving Ukraine or something. Well, okay, if you wanted just to fight and be involved in that, that's how, again, that's, I don't know his feelings. They say here that he went over there. He was interested in the warfare and spent 5 years, about 5 years. Well, that about is concerning to me, because if you go in the Foreign Legion and you sign the first contract, there's certain times, and after that you can extend, and then you can become a French, resident, citizen, and so on. He didn't choose to do that. After the beginning of the Russian full-scale invasion in Ukraine, he decided to go to fight on Ukraine's side. Okay, so here is, I'm pretty much certain the communique here. People who knew him say he learned Ukrainian within a course of a year spent in Ukraine. His girlfriend, Ivana, That's not a Romanian name whatsoever, especially with double N, and Ivana never remains in Ukraine. So probably she was Ukrainian, I'm guessing. So yeah, probably he had affinity for Ukraine through his love of his girlfriend, right? Earlier in October, it was reported about the death of volunteers from Estonia and Finland in Ukraine. In Georgia, the support fund, for the volunteers of the Georgian Legion who are fighting in Ukraine sites has been created. Okay, good for you. So, a Romanian was killed fighting on the Ukrainian side. If he knew some history, and if he were a Romanian, he would have stayed out of it. Obviously, that's my assessment. If you really love your country, why? Because however you want to take it, it's not Russia having Romanian territories, but it's Ukraine having Romanian territories. So it doesn't mean that helping the Russians will get your territories back, but certainly helping the Ukrainians will not get your territories back. I think those territories will be forever lost for the Romanians, not because of Ukraine or Russia, partly Russia, I think, but not Ukraine. It's because of the Romanians in the capital of Romania, in Bucharest, who are in charge of that country, as these idiots are in charge of this country. So, and on top of that, there's some other understandings between the Russians and Americans who do not allow anything like that to happen. So, anyway, my friends, here it is. Rudolf Wittmann, you can come here. Rudolf Wittmann is gone. All right, well, if you wanted to fight over there, good for him. He had his choices. He made a determination, and unfortunately for him, he died. But if you look at it from the other side, there are some other people who he killed that he didn't know. I saw a very nice quote on Facebook last night. I can't remember who said it. It was someone, but anyway, it was not like I can remember, a historical figure, let's put it this way. And he said, wars are fought by young people who don't know each other, but die, organized or started by old people hating each other, not knowing each other, but not dying. So the same, you have Wittmann here, or Rudolf. You have Rudolf Wittmann, who did not hate any Russian particularly. In particular, he's a young man fighting and killing young men at the orders and decisions of old men who know one another, but they don't die. You see, it was a very nice quote. So, if you remember, many people considered this kind of people pushed in for, and they really believe in what they're doing, and actually they're fulfilling other idiots' goals, and then they're called heroes, they're called this, they're called that, but actually, I'm not talking about Rudolf, I'm talking in general. You're used by them, and then you're called this, and your family will remember you. Instead of saying, who did you fight for? What did you fight for? For freedom? For what? For the good? Was it the good? I mean, sometimes, when you think you fight for the good, you're going to live in denial. Some will say, that was not fighting for the good. Ask the Vietnam War veterans, and ask them, some of them think that war was a really idiotic war and it was useless. Some people really think that was good to fight communism. Well, if you looked at the historical events and what happened, and old people deciding who's fighting who, but not dying, you realize that actually we are used for other people's schemes. And let's say warriors as warriors, but you have civilians, children, old people, vulnerable. What did they do? I mean, if I go to fight someone, I'm gonna, cause harm on the other side, and the other one is gonna try to cause harm. Well, I kind of understand, the reciprocity in that one. But as a civilian, what's the reciprocity? I just get bummed the fuck up. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.